Most gardeners accept that there are months when nothing grows. Winter comes, the garden shuts down, and fresh food comes from the grocery store until spring. That feels like a fact of nature, but it is not. It is a design problem. A garden that only produces food during the warm months is not limited by climate. It is limited by the system or the lack of one. Because 12-month food production does not require 12 months of active growing. It requires three things working together: a garden that produces across the longest possible window, a preservation strategy that captures surplus during peak months, and a perennial layer that fills the gaps between annual crops. When those three elements are in place, food is available every single day of the year, not from a greenhouse, not from a climate-controlled indoor farm, from a backyard garden with a freezer, a few perennial plants, and a planting schedule that treats time as a resource instead of a constraint. I have been building toward this for 3 seasons. The first year, my garden produced food for about 4 months, and I bought everything else. By the third year, between fresh harvests, frozen surplus, canned goods, and perennial crops, we had garden-produced food available in every month of the calendar year. Not enough to replace the grocery store entirely in December, but enough that something on the table came from our own land every single day. In this video, I am going to show you the 3-layer system that makes 365-day food production possible from a normal backyard garden. Stay to the end, because the third layer is the one that most gardeners never build, and it is the piece that makes the entire system work year-round. Layer 1 is extended season annual production, pushing the growing window as far as possible in both directions. A typical garden produces from late May through August, 4 months. An extended season garden produces from March through November, 8 months. That extra 4 months comes from 2 techniques most gardeners skip. At the front end of the season, cool season crops go in 4 to 6 weeks before the last frost. Lettuce, spinach, peas, radishes, kale, and carrots all tolerate cold soil and light frost. These crops produce food in March and April, while most gardeners are still waiting for warm weather. Peas planted early on a temporary trellis produce pods in late spring and fix nitrogen into the soil for the warm season crops that follow. That early wave adds 2 months of production to the front of the season that most people leave empty. At the back end of the season, fall crops sown in late August produce food through October and November. Lettuce, spinach, arugula, radishes, and kale all perform better in fall than in summer because the cooling temperatures prevent bolting and produce sweeter, more tender leaves. A simple row cover or cold frame over these crops protects them from light frost and extends the harvest another 2 to 4 weeks beyond what uncovered crops could survive. In many zones, this pushes fresh harvests into December. Between the 3-wave succession system during the main season and the early spring and late fall extensions, the garden produces fresh food for roughly 8 months of the year. That is layer 1, maximizing the annual growing window, but 8 months still leaves 4 months uncovered. That is where layer 2 comes in. Layer 2 is preservation, capturing the surplus from peak production months and storing it for the months when nothing grows. Every garden overproduces during July and August. Tomatoes ripen faster than you can eat them. Zucchini multiplies overnight. Beans come in waves that overwhelm the kitchen. Most gardeners treat this surplus as a burden. Too much food, too fast, and a lot of it goes to waste. In a 365-day system, that surplus is not a burden. It is your winter food supply, and preserving it does not require canning equipment, root cellars, or any complicated setup. A chest freezer handles the majority of it. Blanch and freeze green beans in 15-minute batches. They keep for 12 months and taste better than anything canned from the store. Freeze whole tomatoes on a sheet pan and bag them. They work perfectly in soups, sauces, and stews all winter. Shred and freeze zucchini for bread and stir fries. Slice and freeze peppers for cooking year-round. Chop herbs in olive oil and freeze in ice cube trays. 1 cube dropped into a pan in January gives you fresh herb flavor from herbs you grew in July. That covers November through February with frozen food from the garden. Canning extends this further for shelf-stable options. 20 tomato plants produce enough canned sauce, salsa, and stewed tomatoes to last an entire winter. Root crops like carrots, beets, potatoes, and winter squash store for months in a cool, dark space without any processing at all. Onions and garlic hang in a dry room and stay usable well into spring. Cabbage ferments into sauerkraut that lasts all winter. The key to making this work is planning for it before the season starts. In February, you decide which crops will be eaten fresh and which will be grown in larger quantities specifically for storage. You plant 15 tomato plants instead of 3 because 12 of them are producing for the freezer and the canning shelf. You plant extra beans because half of them are destined for the freezer. That intentional overplanting is what turns peak season surplus from waste into winter security. I started preserving seriously 3 seasons ago, and our grocery produce spending dropped by roughly 60%. Not because we changed what we eat, but because the garden and the freezer replaced what the store used to provide from November through April. Layer 3 is the one I promised at the beginning, the layer most gardeners never build. It is perennial infrastructure. Annual vegetables reset to 0 every fall. You pull the plants, the bed is empty, and the entire food production system stops until you replant in spring. Perennials do not reset. They come back every year, often stronger than the year before, and they produce food during the transition months when annual crops are either not yet started or already finished. Fruit trees are the most impactful perennial investment. An apple tree takes 3 to 4 years to begin producing, but then gives you hundreds of pounds of fruit annually for decades. A pear tree, a plum tree, a cherry tree. Each one produces food in late summer and fall when the annual garden is winding down. That fruit can be eaten fresh, frozen, dried, or canned to extend its value through winter. Berry bushes produce within 1 to 2 years of planting and return stronger every season. Blueberries ripen in June and July, bridging the gap between spring greens and summer tomatoes. Raspberries produce in early summer and often again in fall with ever-bearing varieties. Strawberries fruit in late spring before almost any annual crop is ready. Perennial herbs are available earliest of all. Rosemary, thyme, sage, oregano, and chives survive winter and are harvestable in March, weeks before any annual seed has even germinated. They are the first food the garden produces each year and the last food available in late fall. Asparagus produces for 20 years or more from a single planting. Rhubarb returns every spring without any attention. Even a small perennial section fills gaps that annual crops and preservation cannot cover. I added 3 blueberry bushes, a raspberry row along the back fence, and a permanent herb patch 2 years ago. The first full year they produced, I realized they were covering exactly the months my annual garden could not. Fresh herbs in March when nothing else was growing, berries in June before tomatoes ripened, raspberries again in September as the main garden slowed. The perennial layer does not produce the bulk of the food. The annual garden and the freezer do that. But it provides continuity. It ensures that in every single month of the year, something from the garden is available to eat. Here is what 12 months actually looks like when all 3 layers are running. January and February, frozen tomatoes and soups, canned salsa with dinner, frozen beans as a side dish, frozen herb cubes in every pan, stored onions and garlic in daily cooking, sauerkraut from fall cabbage. Nothing is growing outside, but garden food is on the table every day. March, perennial herbs are harvestable. Chives, rosemary, thyme are ready. Cool season annual seeds go into the ground. April and May, spring lettuce, spinach, radishes, and peas are producing. Strawberries fruit in late May. The annual garden is fully active. June through August, peak production. Tomatoes, peppers, beans, cucumbers, zucchini, herbs producing heavily. Blueberries and raspberries ripening. Surplus is being frozen and canned for winter. September and October, fall crops producing. Late tomatoes still ripening. Apples and pears coming in. Ever-bearing raspberries producing a second flush. Cover crops going into empty beds. November, fall greens under row cover still producing. Last fresh harvests before hard frost. Root crops pulled and stored. Final canning batches completed. December, fresh perennial herbs if winter is mild. Otherwise, the freezer, the canning shelf, and the root storage carry the month entirely. That is 365 days, not 365 days of active growing. That is impossible in most climates. But 365 days of food availability from a system that grows, preserves, and stores across the full calendar. The annual garden is the engine. Preservation is the bridge. Perennials are the frame. Together, they create a food system that never stops. If you want to see how to set up the annual garden foundation that makes this whole system work, watch the 4x8 raised bed layout video next. It shows you the 3-zone system that produces continuously from spring through fall.